Oops, let me unmute myself, and then you can hear me. Wait, why is that not going? Okay, let's get right back into it. Alrighty, now we are getting into the Tier 1 cast. We will be starting off with... Oops. Start off with Abji versus... Up here. Okay, come on. We have... Yep, okay. So up here in the top left-hand corner of Invader, we do have the Zerg player representing Thank you very much. It is Diggard, and down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the Protoss player represents the Uncoachables. We have Abji. And so now we'll get a good look today as to the kinds of things that make up the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2 players. We've seen a lot of Tier 2 action today. Now we'll see Tier 1 action. These players having a bit more experience under their belt, a bit higher MMR. You should be seeing some different build orders and strategies at work here. Pylon Scout, I believe, suggests that this is going to be a Forge Expand rather than a Gate. It looks like a 9 pool. I believe this is a 9 pool out of Diggard. So, go ahead and confirm that. And get that forge down. I like this play from Diggard. He made it look like the drone was just going to go to the third base location, so the probe didn't bother chasing it. Probe might actually not have even seen it. And so as a result, Diggard's able to get his natural hatchery down without a problem. Like Forge Nexus Gateway is going to be the next set of building choices here for Abji. It looks like Diggard's going to take his third on look. Let's just... He hasn't scouted. Ooh! That probe going down really early. Good catcher for Diggard. A little bit unfortunate there from Abji. Really wanted to keep that alive longer to see what the tech choice is going to be from Diggard. And now this hatch going to be placed on location. And this drone's going to come up. It's going to see the forward. It's going to pull back in time to not die. And then a couple links can come up here. This probe, maybe think about a rescout or just harassing the drone. But we'll turn around. Gateway coming up. Now with the gas coming down for both players, all that remains to be seen is what the tech choices are going to be. Are we going to see a Stargate? Lair, or maybe a Hydralisk Den. Probe is going off on an adventure. Maybe wants to confirm this third hatch. Sunken Colony at the front, and a lair here signaling potential Spire play. Okay, so Hydralisk going down before the Spire finishes, so I'm not sure if maybe this was intended as some sort of second guess play out of Digger. This is an interesting build order here. Zealots here are going to keep an eye on this ramp while the Stargate does go up. There's that +1 getting started, everything looking pretty standard here. Hydra speed on the way, a couple of Hydras out just so that we can defend against Corsair coming across the map. So Zealot's just going to walk across the map here and get on top of this third base location. Digger not quite reacting in time. It's going to lose 2 drones, almost a third. As these this Ling Hydra Force is going to come up here to the wall. Speed is done. Hydra range not quite done yet. We are also getting Overlord drop. Drop before speed is a really interesting choice. We did get this fast lair, so we could be seeing some lurker aspect upgraded here. These zealots coming down, but these zealots are not going to get home this way. This door is closed. This would be a very bad idea. However, these zealots are going to catch rallying Hydra. They get 1 free kill, could have gotten another. These zealots are going to come up and catch Digger, not quite paying attention. More Hydra rallying down here to the natural wall. As we have some Corsair coming across the map. This Overlord here going to get picked off. These Zealots now also eventually going to get dealt with. Good micro, pulling back the Hydras that were attacked. Their Overlord going to go down here. Overlord speed now on the way with drops finished. No lurker aspect just yet. Just massing up those Hydra, forcing out some cannons. Going to take an eye at what's going on here. Goon range on the way. Still pumping out those Corsair. We're up to quite a few now. We're up to 4. They're going to start hammering down Overlords. Well, meanwhile, Digger has apparently taken a look at the number of cannons and decided that it's not quite enough. There are no Templar out just yet, but unfortunately it looks like there were just enough cannons and zealots here to defend, and now pretty much all of Digger's forces just sacrificed right into these cannons, getting really not much done. And that leaves very little here to deal with these Corsairs, and also the Zealot back here in the main. Already now 3 drone kills and some Overlord kills here. This is looking really abusive. This Zealot could actually go back in here and kill this gas drone as well. Will move down here and eventually get cleaned up by these Hydralisks, but oof. 19 drones is a very, very, very bad count at this point. This is, I'm gonna be honest here, this is looking fairly unrecoverable here for Digger, as these got less supply than Abji has probes. That's never a good sign. Cannon's going back up here. Robo going up here so that we can get some observers out. Storm almost done. And honestly, with Storm done, I mean, like, 2 storms kills all this Hydra. Like, you've got Templar out already. By the time Storm's done, these Templar are going to have energy for a Storm. I mean, unless Digger does nothing for... Or, sorry, unless Abji does nothing for the next, like, 10 minutes. And even if he still did nothing... I unfortunately just don't think there would be a way back into this game for Digger. Hydra's being rallied up here. These Zealots, I guess, just going to go right-click down this hatchery. Yep. They're going to take out the Sunken Colony first. And then they're just going to go ahead and right-click down this third base hatch. Really not much that Digger can do about it. He is... Oh, here we go. Massing up forces here at the third base location. Going for a Doom drop in the main. But now... Digger, I have to imagine Abji has an idea that this is what the plan is, but unfortunately going up here, trying to get on top of these Overlords, the Hydra are going to push these back, getting a kill on one, nearly getting a kill on a couple of others, but now there really is no way for this drop to get into the base because the Corsair would kill the Overlords too fast, and here now... running a backstab with these Zealots is Abji, and they're really just with the legs done, and is the +1 done? Yes, the 1-1 is done. There is really no way for Digger to defend this. And all the drones are going to slowly die. This spawning pool is going to slowly die. And as predicted, these Hydras are going to slowly die as we have more than enough Storm available. Well, we did. There were at least 2 High Templar up here. I guess one of them got sniped. But these Zealots are just doing whatever they want here in the main of Digger. Spawning pool is dead. This Extractor... looks like the Extractor's not quite going to go down. Going to get some damage down on this layer, but then this will get cleaned up. Looks like everything got picked up here into these Overlords. But again, these Corsair... are just going to kill the Overlords. They are targeting down the wrong one, but this is 7 Hydra. Yeah, no, this is a very cute attempt at dropping some Hydra into the back of the mineral line, but yeah, that's... When you lose all your drones to Zealots running into your base, you're going to be in for a bad time. That will be when going Abji in game 1 and game 2. Whoops, we're not playing the fucking camp. Abji vs Digger game 2 now on Dark Origin. Updated. In the upper left-hand corner, third player Diggered. Down 0-1, hoping to run this back, taking over. Thank you very much. And down here in the bottom right-hand corner, up 1-0, hoping to take this one home for the Uncoachables. Abji are here on Neo Dark Origin. Our 2-player map all day today. We'll have to see what kind of spicy strategies we get employed by our respective players here. I think it's going to be maybe a 1-base play here. I'm curious if this... I think this pylon would normally go here if this could be a fast expand. And it looks like Overpool is going to be the opener of choice for Digger. Just a standard opener here. And the probe's going to come up here. do have... Oh, is this going to be a 2-gate? Is that what this is? This does look like the same pylon placement. I think that Escalade put down when he did a 2-gate in one of his... It is going to be a 2-gate opener from Abji. I'm very curious to see how Digger's going to deal with this. Oh! Playing that game of chicken up till the very end there with that probe. That probe could come back around and hit this drone again. Really putting up as much of a struggle as possible to keep this natural hatchery from going down. And crazily enough, the hurt drone is actually going to come down here for a scout. And I think when you see the Zealot plus no, like there's nothing here, you see the Zealot coming out, I think you just know it's 2-gate. So now that the spawning pool is done, we've got 4 lings coming out. And we're going to need a lot more lings coming out here. We're probably going to want to get a creep colony as quickly as possible to help deal with this gate opening. There are going to be a lot of Zealots coming across the map. Digard is going to hide this drone, does want to get this hatchery down here. These lings getting a look at this first Zealot. The Zealot's trying to find a place to hide, although the back of the minerals here is actually fairly open. He's going to get a decent surround here. Now, okay, decent micro here out of Abji, really trying to walk this Zealot back and forth here. Trying to reduce the surface area as much as possible. First Zealot gets 3 ling kills here. We got 1 more Zealot coming up here, 2 more Zealots coming up behind. This hatch did go down, by the way. So Zealots could be diverted in that direction. And more drones coming out. This actually genuinely surprises me. I don't think Digard ever went into Abji's base. He does have an Overlord there now. Although the Overlord actually does not see the gates. I would assume that he has seen the gates with the scouting pattern. Here comes the Cyber Core, but I mean Zealots are still being made. Digger trying to drill as best he can here to get around this pool, get some surface area to limit the amount of drones that die here. 1 drone goes down. 2 drones go down. These Zealots are being forced to kind of dance around as the lings pop out. And now this is going to get cleaned up here. This hatch is going to take a little bit of damage here as the Zealots do find it. 6 lings out here. Not quite enough to fight that, but we do have 6 more in production. So it looks like now... this 2-gate aggression is going to be more or less held here with minimal losses for Digard. But of course, as you know, the Protoss' whole plan here is to force out a lot of Zerglings to not let them drone. And Abji has definitely done that. Has, of course, even killed a couple of drones by getting up into that main base. But now this Zealot's going to get cleaned up. This Zealot's going to get cleaned up. There are no more... Whoops, nope. There is 1 more Zealot coming across the map. This Goon is going to chase this Overlord out. And so now we do have 3 bases up, 3 hatches up here for Digard. Is down an Overlord because of that Overlord that got sniped down here in the main of Abji. But once that Overlord gets replaced, we got this Hydralisk Den down. And now things are gonna... Well, I thought maybe things are gonna calm down for a little bit here, but Abji is gonna keep the pressure on by moving out here with these 2 Dragoons. And he is gonna catch Digard droning. And I'm not sure if Digard's gonna be able to do much of anything about this. Getting that Hydralisk range and link speed. Now, 1 base Shuttle Reaver play. for Abji on the back of this 2-gate opener. And Diggory is going to abandon this hatchery. He's going to try to save these drones by hiding them up here. This poor Ling is going... These pair of Lings are going to die as soon as they hatch. Now, these few Lings and some Lings being made are the entire army of Diggard, who is once again supply blocked. And, I don't really know what else to say. Gateway units are pretty good. Abji's going to take that 1-2-0, and we're going to go into the next series. Righty then. Go. We have GeForce Tesla versus the Hot. Vader, let's get one loaded up on. Alrighty. Back on Invader once again. Up here in the top left corner. Representing, thank you very much, it is going to be the Hyde. And in the bottom right-hand corner, Coach-Pupils, it's going to be G Tesla. Playing some PvP. Again, being a Zerg player, this is a matchup they don't know a lot about. It does seem to come down to from what little I've seen, seems to come down to goon range battles and Shuttle Reaver micro, and it'll be pretty cool to see how well these... It'll be interesting to see how well these players do with their unit micro of choice, whatever units they choose. So far, just completely mirrored builds. Simulator a little bit faster for the Hyde. Maybe a little bit faster for GeForce. But really just mirrored build. Slightly earlier scout here for GeForce. But all he's going to do is get up here and see that these builds are more or less mirrored. Hyde going for a faster core. Actually... GeForce started... this is interesting. GeForce started a Zealot, and then I guess he saw Hyde's core, canceled the Zealot, and started his own core. So I'm guessing that was... I'm curious what GeForce would have been looking for that would have made him want a Zealot. I don't know if, like, 2-8 is a thing in PvP. But that was interesting to see that. Now, Hyde will start a Zealot here. And both cores have finished, so GeForce will skip the Zealot and just get a Dragoon out. Probe on probe action here in the base of GeForce. But once this Dragoon comes out, that's when the probe... Yeah, Hyde is leaving, already knows that Dragoon's going to come soon. And now that Goon Range is going to start up. I have to imagine that GeForce's Goon Range is going to start up here momentarily as well. And on a second gateway. bit of a divergence in builds here, delaying that goon range just a little bit. And a quick Citadel here out of G-Force. Again, I'm not that well versed in PvP. But this is just Dark Templar to me. I guess, I don't know, maybe you go +1 legs or something, but I would guess that this is signaling Templar tech. That goon range has been started here, but it is pretty significantly behind Hyde's goon range. There it is, Templar Archives. I see some invisible men in our future. Forge now here for a Hyde. Guess he would be looking for... I'm sorry. I did not see this pylon. I'm very sorry. This has been here for a while. There is a probe over here. I guess that's just a... If you wanted to expand there? That's really weird. That's funny that you would just put a pylon here and just leave it. That's like it looks like it's there just to block a nexus and not to be like any sort of proxy play. That's wild to me. Well, okay. Dark Templar on the way here. Nexus going down for the Hyde, and it looks like one is going to go down here for G-Force here pretty shortly. Let's see if this Dark Templar with his glorious, majestic green cape get anything done. He is going to walk into a photon cannon. And he's just going to walk up to the natural and just die because there's a photon cannon up there. That's crazy. I don't know if that was just some like elite game sense out of the Hyde. I guess I'm a little bit surprised that you wouldn't just like actually take a look at the natural first, but you also wouldn't necessarily expect a cannon, I don't. So that worked out in the Hyde's favor. I don't think G-Force can't get up this way either because these would present too much vision. Yeah, he's not going to get up this ramp. No way. The goons are the goons can see this. Okay, so the DTs of the Hyde doing absolutely nothing. Looks like all that Forge was for was to get a photon cannon. We do have Templars. Norm on the way, a little over halfway done here. And a Robo going down here for the Hyde, which again, this is what I'm used to seeing in the few PvPs I've seen, like when Snow plays PvP and Pro League or whatever. It usually does seem to come down to Shuttle Reaver tactics and micro. Another pylon just... The Hyde is just a fan of just hiding pylons all around the map. He's got one down here. Got a probe hanging out down here. Could do a pylon here. He really does not want G-Force to be taking any sort of bases without his knowledge. G-Force will see this pylon up here. And I guess was like looking to see if there was anything, like if it was actually supporting some sort of hidden building. It's not. Now the Hyde going to move out with his goons. Not much to see. Here is the Observatory and the Templar Tech. Now it looks like our players are going to take some roundabout routes to meet up in the middle, as we do have the Observatory being built for G-Force, which is already done for the Hyde. And cheeky Hyde getting another pylon down here at this. Both potential third base locations now have pylons sitting on top of them. This Zealot actually got a lot of damage up here on this pylon, but now that's been cleared. Like Zealot's going to come down here and find this pylon and take it out. And we are going to have the Hyde walking forward here. Does have a superior Dragoon count, but there are a lot of storms available here. There's 4 storms available. Kadar and Amulet not yet upgraded. The Hyde does not yet have Storm. There is a 1 Templar out. It only has enough energy for 1 storm. And the Hyde's going to walk up and see what's up at the front. Decide he just wants to go back home and throw down a third. We're just going to keep right on Macaron. It looks like a Dark Templar was dropped over here in the main. I see it's got 2 kills. But we've had that cannon here for quite a while now, so I can't imagine it really got up. Maybe it just killed some idle probes down here. Can't imagine it doing much more than that. G-Force now taking a bit more of a forward position on the map here. Would like to put a Nexus down here, but is going to find yet another pylon, as again, this is like Hyde's favorite thing to do in this matchup, is just pylon block every potential Nexus location that there is. And this is a pretty sizable army here coming out of the Hyde. But the thing is that we have more storms for G-Force. There's only 1 High Templar here for the Hyde. And it does have, it's got 1 storm ready. We'll have another storm here in a moment, but there are 4 storms ready here for G-Force. So it really comes down to how well these land. A really good storm here on top of these Dragoons. This storm not quite as good, but the next storm is going to do a lot of damage here. And unfortunately now, how many storms do we have left? It doesn't look like we have any. It looks like all the High Templar are dead. And even though the storms were pretty decent, they may not have been enough here. Hyde pushing forward, some of these Dragoons retreating to the high ground, and the Hyde is just going to charge right into the natural here. Zealot's getting on top of the Dragoons here, and almost all the Dragoons are dead. These ones are coming back to reinforce, but it may be too little too late, as now we are getting into the main base, trying to maybe take out this gas, maybe take out some Zealots, maybe take out some probes. Got to go back home and get our macro on as well. There is a Dark Templar being made for the Hyde, actually. I thought maybe there's a Dark Templar being made here for G-Force. It would not help him out very much, as there are observers parked here for vision, and now that shuttle is dead, and these Dragoons are really just completely having their way with this base. And it does look like, yeah, well, I believe this is a Dark Templar for the Hyde that just, like, walked all the way down. Like, he's making Dark Templar one at a time, just, like, walking him down here. GeForce is also making a Dark Templar of his own, but I do believe there are observers here for the Hyde. Yep, okay. That Nexus is dead. GG is called. Well done to the Hyde for not falling for the Invisible Men. Getting his detection, macroing up, and running over his opponent. Well played, sir. Go ahead and give the Hyde that win. And move right on to Alright guys, now we are on Neo Dark Origin in the upper left hand corner. Representing the Uncoachables, it is going to be GeForce. And down here in the bottom right hand corner, up 1-0, hoping to take this one home for his team. Thank you very much. It is the Hyde. We saw some pretty bog standard openings. Really only deviating when GeForce decided he wanted to go for those early Dark Templar. That DT drop, unfortunately, did not. The DTs did not really do much, and so GeForce did fall behind to Hyde's macro. I really do like the pylon placement from the Hyde as well. Just making sure that if GeForce comes out anywhere on the map, he'll know about it. We'll never take a base without him knowing about it. Gateway. Gas. 2-gate. Okay, I was wondering if 2-gate might be something you would see in PvP. If you're ever going to see it, it's going to be on 2-player maps, so here we go. We are going to have opening deviations here for our players. I'm very curious to see how the Hyde is going to react when he gets into this base. Now, the Hyde is getting a look at this 2-gate opening. First zealot already out. 2 more will be following up shortly. And I'm very curious how you hold this as a Protoss player. The core is done. We are getting a shield battery down. And I'm guessing this zealot can hold this ramp while we get a Dragoon out, at least for a little bit. Probe's coming up here to also assist. Zealots are continuing to come across the map. This probe going up for a rescout, I guess. And oh, this is okay. More probes coming out here now. This zealot doing the best it can to block the ramp. This other zealot trying to just like shimmy past and takes a lot of damage in the process. And now with the first Dragoon out, Goon range on the way, second Dragoon on the way. I'm not terribly sure what exactly this can get done. I mean, it just seems to me like, as the Hyde, you just kite these zealots for eternity. There are still zealots coming across the map. This zealot gonna get into the probe line. This zealot's actually gonna get probe kills. He actually gets a kill on one, maybe even two probes. The probes tried to come over here to finish it off. We're unable to do so. This zealot now going to get on top of this dragoon and deal a little bit of damage. Now we do have 3 zealots, I believe. No, I'm sorry. One of these is the Hyde. So we have 2 zealots here for G-Force trying to get on top of these dragoons. But really, not much is going to happen. They did take a significant amount of hull damage, but the shield battery also helping out. These 2 zealots can't quite decide if they want to go to the hide space or if they want to go home. And now the goons are going to move out onto the map and, I guess just chase these zealots down and kill them. What's actually going back at the main base of E-Force? Right now, not a whole heck of a lot. Looks like the Cyber Core finished and the Citadel's on the way, but Goon range is done for the Hyde. And with Zealots being slow still, it feels like this can just be kited forever. Forge now going down for the Hyde. I don't know if he saw the Citadel, but I'm guessing this is just him knowing that really the only thing he can die to in the immediate future is invisible men, like in Game 1. That is in fact what happened, or it was the attempt anyway. We do have legs. No Templar yet, so it looks like we're not trying to rush into invisible men this game. The Hyde is going to poke up here once again. Is going to target fire this Dragoon down with his own Dragoons. Unfortunately, there are no Zealots to support this. Now, this really is going to come down to the Hyde's micro, and in terms of how quickly he can reduce this Zealot count, ideally without losing any Dragoons of his own. These front 2 Dragoons, they still do have plenty of shields on them. He is microing back as best he can, taking a little bit of hull damage. But now all of the Zealots that were up here at the natural choke for G-Force are dead. And honestly, if he wanted to, Hyde could just walk up. I don't see what there is to stop the Hyde from just killing G-Force. Like, he can't protect this Nexus. And he is getting a Nexus back at home. So I suspect this game is just over. The Nexus will go. The Nexus will go down. G-Force will do his best to hold his ramp. Zealot legs are done now, so Zealots are going to be a little bit better against the Dragoons. But this Nexus is about to finish, and once it does, the Hyde is going to be up in bases. He's going to be up in probes. He's going to be up in army supply. He's going to have every advantage he could possibly want. Even kiting back these speed zealots and target firing as best as he can. Using the bridges to reduce the melee surface area here. And I mean, the thing is yeah, I mean, G-Force kind of traded up, kind of reduced the Dragoon count here for the Hyde, but it doesn't matter. Hyde can lose all of these units, and it doesn't matter. Because he's got more production, he's got more probes, he's got more everything. Yeah, there's just no way. We got photon cannons here for defense. This is definitely the point where the High doesn't even need to like kite back. All he needs to do is just get back to his natural. He's bringing up all of his probes, which I think is a little bit of an overreaction, but might as well stay completely perfectly safe. You don't know exactly if there's anything, you know, just behind this out of vision. There are a few zealots rallying down here, but really that's it. There's just no production here. There's no probes being made. Second forge here. It's an interesting choice to reduce that surface area. He started +1. Did he forget he had a... No? What? What is this? That's kind of... Well, things are going to stabilize here for a little bit anyway, as now G-Force is going to run more speed lots across the map and try to get a Nexus up behind it. And unfortunately, the Hyde moved across the bridges at exactly the wrong moment, getting a couple of his Dragoons picked off by these speed lots. This Zealot can't quite decide which bridge he wants to cross. Once again, these Dragoons are going to back up to the safety of these cannons. +1 attack on the way for these Dragoons. And now... Templar Archives here finished for G-Force. So a bit of a tech advantage here. Could make a couple of Dark Templar if he wanted to. And in fact, he will. Got one queued up right there. Yet even more speed zealots being sent down here to keep this Dragoon count as low as possible. Although right now the spreading is pretty good here. So far only losing 1 Dragoon, 2 Dragoons, 3 Dragoons. So losing 3 Dragoons and killing off all of the zealots. And even with the Dark Templar moving across the map, no Robo in sight. The cannons are going to mean that there is no counterattack potential for these Dark Templar, and G-Force is going to out. And the Hyde will take that series 2-0. So good job to him. Taking that win home for thank you very much. Like that, we will get into number 3. X versus... Scores go back to Vader. Game 1 coming at you here. Not quite ready on. There we go. Alrighty, top left corner. Representing... Thank you very much. It is going to be Neklar, and down here in the bottom right-hand corner, representing the Coach-Pupils, it is going to be X. A lot of Zerg games here. A lot of ZVP here today. I'm very excited to see how this one is going to go. Always looking to learn from my betters in ZVP. We're getting a look at a lot of aggressive openings today, too, given the fact that we're starting out on these two-player maps. Probe's hanging out here. Gonna go ahead and throw that gateway down. This Overlord's just going to move across the map, try to see what's going on. Natural. It's a... Oh, 10 hatch. So Extractor, Trick, 10 hatch, or Hex. It's a very interesting opening, especially for a 2-player map. I'm really, really interested to see how Naklar is going to... Oops, I have these. I'm really curious to see how Naklar is going to hold this gate first aggression. As that gate is almost done and the pool is not. Have that delayed pool because we got that 9 hatch 9 pool, and only just now is our Overlord starting. It looks like the Zealot's just going to be rallied down toward the main base. Good look at that long braid down its back. Those mechanical legs that will no doubt get upgraded. The psionic blades on its wrists. About to wreak immense havoc on this Zerg. Things are almost out. And interestingly enough, the Zealot's actually going to turn around. Deciding that seeing these lings out of Naklar with the probe. This I guess kind of points to what Worst was talking about in my stream yesterday when I asked about the potential of doing gate first openings here. It can be a little bit hard to put pressure on and hold the... You've got this choke and this ramp. It can be a little hard to hold both at the same time, and in fact right now, with these lings, Naklar is going to walk up here and put pressure on this gateway, and he's going to bait these Zealots to come out. This first Zealot's going to get forced out here and will get taken down. And actually now... kind of not sure what he wants to do with the Zealot. Is going to send it towards the base of Naklar, maybe to look for any more rallying Zerglings. A lot of damage going down on this gateway already. Cannon not yet finished. I don't know if maybe up here is a path for these Zerglings to get in. Right now, the Zealot's trying to hold on as best as he can. This cannon will eventually finish, and here comes this Zealot down to... the main of Naklar. Will not see much of anything here. And now the cannon's up. This Overlord going to get chased away, and everything will stabilize. Again, a lot of lings out here, though, for Hex. Sorry, for Naklar. Ugh. Up a lot. Third hatch on location. No gas yet. Wait, hold on. I did have those right. Hex just running lings here, and again showing why it's a little bit tough to defend, or potentially tough to defend. You do need, you know, he tried really hard to get on top of this cannon. Oh, okay. So, Hex tried to get on top of this cannon, suicided a bunch of lings, never took any gas, and quit. Alright, that's how that game went. So, Naklar is going to take game 1. Now we'll go to game 2. Virgin. Spawning up here in the top left, our Zerg player representing the Uncoachables, it is Hex. And down here in the bottom right, representing, thank you very much, it is Naklar. And we have ourselves a 4-pool. I clicked back just in time to see the canceled drone. Oh boy. Alrighty then. Well, I don't know how this works in ZVP. I'm guessing if it's a forge, then you're probably fine. If it's a forge and the probe gets up here, then he'll see it faster, right? It's going to be a gateway expand, which I think means that Naklar just loses. I believe that Naklar is just going to lose. But it may come down to the probe micro, as Naklar will get up here. I think he's going to get up here just in time to see these lings hatch, and then he's going to know exactly... He's going to know that he's in for the fight of his life if he wants to take this home for thank you very much here and now. Comes in, counts the drones, knows that he needs to get out of here as quickly as possible because every unit is going to count. A drone coming down alongside these lings. Says, no, I need you back at home to mine so I can eke out every last possible Zergling. And here come the probes up to defend, just leaving a small handful of probes back here to mine, trying desperately to hold on to this choke. And here we go. These lings are going to get on top of this gateway. It's going to be now the job of these lings to kill these probes and the zealot as quickly as possible. The probes getting the damage down and allowing the zealot to kill the lings in less hits than normally they would. Normally it'd be 3 hits, but if a probe hits first, then it's only 2. And now down to just 3 Zerglings. We do have 2 rallying down. More, of course, being in production. This is the only way for Hex to win this game. He has to get as many kills as he possibly can here, sitting only on 4 drones at home, rallying down Zerglings. These probes doing the dance, doing as best they can to defend this natural, to defend this choke, to defend this zealot. The zealot and these probes are the only thing that Naklar has to defend his base. One ling does get through, but not being microed very much, just targeting down. Right-clicked onto one of these probes, it is going to die. 12 probes now here for Naklar, and I think this has just been held. Some lings sitting here. 2 more lings are going to join. Another, we're going to have 8 lings here eventually. But we're also going to have a second zealot. And once that second zealot comes out, I think this just becomes impossible. Especially with the probes supporting. I mean, the cost efficiency here is just so high. Now that said, okay, Hex is going to get a catch on this zealot. He got the shields out of it. Now, can he actually finish it off? So far, the answer is no. Micro in this back god just survives with 1 hit! Ah! And Hex is going to GG. The 4-pool was unsuccessful. Great block here by Naklar to take home the victory. The cheese didn't quite work. Interesting to see some of the tactics used by these tier 1 players. Well, they're making it through, so we're chugging through these series real fast here. Justice versus Fire. All right, one on just a moment. Alrighty, up here in the top left-hand corner, it is going to be your player Justice representing the Uncoachables, and down here in the bottom right-hand corner, going to be the Orange Protoss Fire representing Much. I think this is the second or third TVPF cast today. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out on Invader. Again, we're seeing some more aggressive strategies as we have been seeing. We have been starting off with these 2-player maps this week. We saw in the tier 2 matches, we saw that 2 factory push worked to great success. Get a bunch of tanks and marines out, just walk across the map. Get that quick siege mode. Can be pretty tough for Protoss to deal with. Have to see what Justice and CD Fire have in store for us in this particular series. Justice going to go ahead and take that gas. Like we are going to go for that factory. Whether it's a factory expand or a 2-factory push, we'll just have to see. And a Cybercore going down for CD Fire. My guess is that that's going to go into a range expand. But it could be some fast tech as well. This pro being as annoying as it possibly can, but we'll have to leave now as out. Uh-oh. Is he gonna get it? Oh, he tried it! I swear he tried to, like, stutter step, and he canceled his own auto attack and the probe lives. It's a little unfortunate. That probe will go home and continue to serve ire. Here's that range, and it looks like the command center is going to go down. Okay, we're going to get that bunker up here first, of course. Machine shop. Then we will get that command center down. It looks like we're going to get a next less time. Just like that. Synchronized. And now that the machine shop is done, we'll get ourselves a tank. I imagine we're going to see 4 mines before too long. They're going to come up. Just wants to confirm that there is, in fact, a command center being built, and there is. Now the first siege tank is out, we are going to push that Dragoon back. And get those mines. We're going to transfer over some workers. Look at the timing on this. I love it. These workers will get there right as the command center finishes. A little push out here from Justice. Just send these units across the map, see what's going on. So there's no funny business. Probably wants to confirm the Nexus. As I don't believe that Justice has actually seen it yet. And actually, this is kind of wild. CD Fire ran his Dragoons up here to the high ground, and that's just gonna let Justice walk into this natural here and cut this Nexus off. And I'm sorry, but we killed this Marine here, but now that mines are done, CD Fire can't actually get back over here with these Dragoons to defend this. These pylons are going to go down. This Nexus, I don't think you can save this Nexus. This is quite the blunder out of CD Fire. I mean, you saw this coming across the map. I'm not sure exactly what he thought was going to happen when he put his Dragoons up here instead of bringing them back over here. But this might be a very quick game, as this Nexus is definitely going to go down. Now, an observer is out, and this army has been cleaned up, but I mean, look at the worker count. I mean, Justice is making 2 SCVs at a time out of his 2 command centers. He's getting his 2nd gas up. He's getting turrets up. We already got speed and mine. Siege one's on the way, +1's on the way. I have to imagine here pretty soon we're going to start throwing down more factories. And, like, how do you possibly come back in this game as CD Fire? This is crazy. Citadel going down, so we do want to get into that Templar tech. Double expansion, apparently, is going to be the gamble of choice here for CD Fire. He does need to do something in order to try to come back, and this is apparently going to be his choice. Double expanding and hoping to be left alone long enough while Justice macros to catch up in that probe count. Academy going down, wants to get some combats here. Does Justice? CD Fire coming up here to poke at the front of this base will lose a couple of Dragoons to a Spider Mine and this bunker. Will confirm that there are some tanks up here. Could potentially run down and try, walk up and try to snipe a couple. There were only 2 that were sieged up. Does decide not to pull the trigger on that. Both Nexuses are now complete. And a forge going up. I guess we want cannons behind this to ensure that this can never be harassed. I did not know that you could get probes through here. Okay. I was thinking he was only going to be able to mine with probes that actually came out of the Nexus itself. Well, now CD Fire can start making probes 3 at a time here if he wants to, in order to catch back up in economy. Still a pretty massive worker advantage here for Justice. And now going up to 5 factories. That +1 weapons is done. Oh, just barely going to miss picking off this. Oh, nope, never mind. That turret's going to go up and it will kill that observer. The observer does confirm the factory count. We do have Vulture speed and Goliath range on the way. Now Justice is going to push out here, and to be honest, I mean... Justice has more supply than CD Fire does, and I am not well versed in TVP, but I'm pretty sure that's bad for Protoss. Also, okay, so we do have +1 armor started here for CD Fire. And as these tanks push out, we do have a couple of Dragoons here watching for a third base, maybe even potentially thinking about a sneak attack here. But yeah, Justice is going to see these pylons here. He's going to know that this base has been taken. He's going to know that Justice's or CD Fire's response here was to double expand. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to drop some Zealots on here, or maybe just faking a Zealot drop, hoping that these tanks will unsiege. That is not, in fact, what happens. And now attacking these pylons here. Oh, hello there. We have some Dark Templar coming up here to try to take out these tanks, but they will get immediately destroyed. Now, this is really funny. Justice keeps telling everything to attack these these pylons, and he's probably killed like 4 or 5 of his own vultures. Just trying to kill these cannons up here on this high ground, but does eventually clear those cannons out, and will send some vultures up here to clear out these probes. Another Dark Templar coming down here. I've heard some more scans going off. I'm not sure if there's a scan remaining to try to spot these Dark Templar. Is there a scan remaining? There is not. All the scans have been used. And so these Dark Templar now are going to force Justice to back up. Or, I mean, he could also just lose all of these tanks. Not the most ideal thing in the world. Would be nice to save a few of these, trying to get this third base up. But unfortunately, just like that, a few invisible men are going to completely reset the tank count for Justice. This third Nexus did go down, but the second Nexus is still here. Worker count's not looking super hot, though, for CD Fire. Vulture's coming around now. A hidden Nexus here in the bottom left corner. Hopefully these Vultures go down to spot that. A Vulture trying to get up here into the natural will not find much. 9 gateways here and 7 factories. And now just like that, CD Fire has taken control of his high grounds and could throw another Nexus down if he wanted to. Although again, he has chosen to take the expansion down here. So Vulture's coming out around, trying to wrap around here to see what's still sitting out here. Welcome meeting up with his main force here, bringing some of his newly made tank subs. Zealot legs done. +1 armor almost done here for CD Fire. Zealot's getting on top of this tank up here. Will take this out. Trying to micro as best he can here. Unfortunately, still does not have... Okay, the scan will go down, but he has to target fire the Dark Templar, and unfortunately the damage is just going to be too much here. All these Zealots getting on top of these tanks, and I am honestly stupefied here that CD Fire has managed to maintain the position that he has. Honestly, now kind of being ahead, I would say. I mean, Justice has thrown away so many units. His natural, of course, has been up longer. So he is starting to run out of gas there. Oh, the Vulture has discovered this expansion down here. Does have a spider mine up. That will get cleaned up. But Justice knows about that now, so that is a location he could choose to send Vultures down again in the future. And indeed, he is remaking this Nexus and these pylons, which honestly, this is... So we do have the Terran now on 3 mining bases and a gajillion SCVs. I mean, the income for Justice now is actually just insane. He can get everything. He can get all the factories, he can get all the upgrades, he can get pretty much everything he wants. He is mining gas, although he does need to put some extra workers there. And now, here comes the force of CD Fire. While we have this force over here, CD Fire is counterattacking the 3rd base, and there really is not much here to defend. This command center is going to have to lift. The SCVs are going to have to run away. And it looks like a scan did go down here to take out the Dark Templar that was sitting here. There is another Dark Templar that just came out of the shuttle. So another scan is going to need to come down eventually. But unfortunately, they're just... I'm not sure there's just going to be enough here. This command center is eventually going to go down. These units now pushing out towards the natural expansion, but do need to make their way down a little bit faster. Reinforcements coming down here, and CD Fire backing up. I do like this play. And unfortunately, this Dark Templar... Oh my god. 17 kills on that one Dark Templar, as now the forces of justice have moved up here towards this natural expansion. We do have some units back here reinforcing from the base that attacked the 3rd of justice for CD Fire, but I don't think it's going to be enough. All that's here is this one Dark Templar that just got dropped out of this shuttle, and I guess there aren't any scans again? We actually are just waiting. Any moment now there will be a scan available, but there are 2 Dark Templar here, and it looks like they might just be enough to save this natural. So many dead workers here. Justice was on 60 SCVs, now it's down on 40. And CD Fire was on something like 48 SCVs and is now down below 30. And CD Fire will tap out. And Justice will take 1. That was a pretty exciting game. It's very back and forth. I'm impressed with CD Fire's ability to make a game of that after losing there at the very beginning. But Justice did close the game out in the... So now we'll go to Dark Horde. Spawning here in the upper left-hand corner, we have the Terran player for the Uncoachables, up 1-0. It is Justice, and down here, questioning whether or not Justice is in the correct tier, it is C Fire, representing much. Looks like you're def a T0 player. I'm mega bad, dude. Ha ha ha! The classic Brood War conversation. Everyone thinks they're bad. Some people think that other players are way too good. I think Justice looked pretty decent there. I really think, though, that for CD Fire, this really just did come down to his initial Dragoons being a little bit out of position. Lana, dude, what is up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Glad you're tuning in. I hope things sound better this stream than they did last stream. I did go back to using my snowball mic instead of my webcam mic. I'm hoping that also means the fan noise is less audible. Good. And so, yeah. Neo Dark Origin. At the gateway going down here. Look, I'm guessing we're gonna see no fan noise. Sounds great. Excellent. Thank you, Lana. I appreciate that. I'm guessing we're gonna have more or less the same builds as last time. Guessing we're gonna be seeing a factory going down here. We do see that gas being taken. No gas steal going to happen today. Checking for like a proxy? That was an interesting little dart down here for like a hidden probe. I guess if you had like a fast probe for some sort of weird proxy pylon tricks. But that factory is... Oh, I thought the factory was going to get started. No, we don't have enough gas for that yet. The second depot and then the factory. It says we have pylon and then this core going to go down. Likely going to get range. Proxy 2 gate is common there. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. There is the factory going down. We do have only one SCV on gas so that we can get that command center down as quickly as possible. This SCV just going to be a little bit annoying here as we wait for that Dragoon to come out. Bunker's going to go up. And I imagine there will be a follow as the Marines come up to try to push back any probes or zealots or goons that might want to come up and put on any pressure. Here's the machine shop to get that tank out. I'm guessing this SCV wants to put down a depot. Kind of taking a little smoke break up here. Okay, he moved. What's he trying to do here? There we go. There's the supply depot. Okay. And this goon gonna go just confirm that there is in fact a command center behind that bunker. We will eventually take out that SCV, although Justice is going to use every ounce of APM he has to make this as annoying as possible. I wonder if he could have gotten that back home. I think he could have gotten that out and around and back home, but decided he didn't want to devote the APM to that. And now this other Dragoon is going to come across the map, although we do already have one tank out, so not going to get too much harass down onto this bunker. Range is done. We're trying to find... not quite. Nope. There it is. There it is. But the tank is already out, so the Dragoons are going to have to back up. No forced repair today. The barracks is going to just provide a little bit more... protection to funnel units in if Dragoons or Zealots try to run by. Citadel going down back at home, and a robotics bay. That Nexus almost done. And quick siege mode here for Justice. So not going to have a whole lot of map presence here. I'm guessing this SCV is coming down here to make a spotter depot in case any shenanigans try to come from the back corner here. Templar Archives just about done. You have plenty of turrets going up in case if there's any shuttle play or any Dark Templar play. SCV just kind of hanging out here. Yes, okay. We are going to get that spotter depot. Tanks continuing to be churned out here. While Justice just makes sure that he is completely safe, macroing up, getting those SCVs out. And here comes that armory for that +1. We'll get that +1 started, and then we'll start making more factories behind. And the Academy. Protoss is already behind. Yeah. Yeah, you don't love it. This might be one of the reasons why. I mean, and this happened last game too. Justice had a pretty massive worker advantage in game 1 for most of the game. That does seem to be one of Justice's strengths. I mean, he stopped at like exactly 60 SCVs in game 1. So that may be an argument in favor of him being a tier 2 or tier 0 player. Yeah, this worker gap is actually growing here as the command center was done for Justice. Although now, I assume that Justice wants to be starting his comsats because he did get the academy. He's just like not making SCVs. Okay, there's one comsat, and there's the other comsat. That's unfortunate. That's at least one pair of SCVs he could have made. So that's going to give an opportunity now for CD Fire to catch up in workers. Yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of the tier 1 players, so... I'm not sure about their playstyles here. Trying to get a DT drop here is CD Fire, but he is not going to be successful. These are going to be pushed away by these tanks as we go up to 5 factories. Going to be a 6? Nope, that's just going to go back in mine. Got some scans going down here. Checking the main base for any tech. Third base going down here for CD Fire, who now is ahead in workers. Those comsats are done. I don't know what the ideal SCV count is here, but I am surprised to see SCV production just completely stopped out of Justice. But for now, we're just going to continue to macro those upgrades, getting that Goliath range, getting that Vulture speed. Tank count looking pretty healthy. And back over here, we're getting some workers transferred over to that third base location. This is an interesting spot for an observatory. Gateways out. There is at least one. How many observers do we have? We have 2 observers out right now. And Justice is going to push out here. I thought he was going to get +1 off of this, but he actually didn't. I'm surprised he went for an armory that fast if he wasn't going to get +1 off of it. Because I think if he had started +1 around the time he made his factory or his armory, it would have been done by now. But I guess that's not what he wanted. So we are going to be able to push back these Dragoons with these siege tanks, just slowly pushing forward. You still got the Marines from the beginning of the game. Got some Goliaths here. Vulture's going to try to lay down some mines to keep everything safe while it moves out. Potentially thinking about a third base over here. And these Dragoons are going to try to poke at the army here as much as they can. But honestly, these Vultures are just kind of hanging out here, just taking everything out, letting these tanks fire freely. The Dragoons of CD Fire just melting. And we do have Storm almost done, but this High Templar being rallied up. Oh my god, it's going to get taken out by this Vulture. The Vulture was target firing down on the High Templar. Does manage to get its Storm off. Decent Storm here on these tanks. And Vultures didn't quite kill anything, but did soften a lot of it up. However, I'm a little bit worried that CD Fire is just not going to have enough stuff. However, back at home, we did get... Dark Templar into the base here. You can tell by the SCV counts. SCV count for Justice has dropped compared to what it was before. However, it looks like he did manage to go ahead and clean that up. All I see back at home are up here are observers and shuttles. And so, yes, we do have a big worker advantage and a base advantage for CD Fire, but I'm not sure how he's going to clean up this tank push. We do have 2 scans available, so... while there are Dark Templar in production, I don't think that's going to be the answer here for CD Fire. I would like to see him bring these shuttles home. He's got one. Where is the other? There's the other one. I'd love to see him bring these shuttles back home and drop some zealots on here. I think that's really going to be the only way that he gets out of this. Does have some High Templar here. There's 2 storms available. Maybe with a really good storm like up here and up here, we could start to break this. There's that shuttle. I mean, there's only one Goliath here. We could get the shuttle over here to try to pick up these zealots and drop them on top of the tanks. We are just going to walk up, and the storm is going to go down. Not the best storm I've ever seen. Honestly, did a lot more damage to this Dark Templar than it did to any of Justice's units, and that tank did clear that up. These tanks are going to kill this 3rd base Nexus, and honestly, with Justice now having more supply, almost has more workers, I don't really see a way back into this for CD Fire. Turret's going down, so any observers or shuttles or DTs that want to come by, they aren't really going to be able to do much, and CD Fire is going to tap out. And Justice will bring home the win for the Uncoachables. So good job there. Played. And that just leaves us, folks, with one more game left to cast. One more series. In this Week 8 Tier 1. That'll be all of Week 8 Uncoachables. Thank you very much, done. As somebody had already done the Tier 3 earlier this week. So now we have Volca versus Man. Final. And going back to Vader. Alrighty, wonderful PvP to close out today's casts. Up here in the top left corner representing the Uncoachables, it is Volca, and down here in the bottom right is going to be Mandalore. I did see a PvP earlier today in the Tier 2 casts. Again, I'm not super well versed in PvP. I want to say I saw like a lot of Dark Templar play out of in the Tier 2 game, and not so much maybe Shuttle Reaver that you might expect. But with these Tier 1 players, we might see something a bit more APM heavy, maybe something more macro heavy, maybe even something just a bit more aggressive. We'll do it quickly after this game. Something happened between kind of technical difficulties between Mandalore and Volca at the beginning of this game. And I'm guessing these, just like in the Tier 2 series, I'm guessing these builds are going to be mirrored. I think really the only way that we would see a significant deviation is if one of them threw up a second gateway, but I'm guessing we're just 8 gas core. Guess the normal, yep. There's the gas. And there is the core going down for both players. Mandalore going to go for that Zealot, while Volca is just going to wait for his core to finish to get out that Dragoon. And there isn't going to be a whole lot of interaction going on. So here comes the first goon for Mandalore, going to come out and chase away this probe. Like Mandalore's probe. Mandalore scouted? Mandalore has not scouted. Mandalore is just playing blind right now. We'll continue to play blind as the Zealot is going to block any attempts to get up into this expansion, as we are going for a fast robo. Here for Volca. That's going to be the tech difference between him and Mandalore. Skipping range to get that robotics facility up. I'm curious if this is signaling like one base Reaver. Again, I just don't know that much about PvP. So we will learn together. As really, when you're playing and casting Brood War, the whole point is to just continually develop so many wrinkles in your brain. Every day, there are new wrinkles. As I learn what PvP is all about. There it is, the robotics support bay. Going up, it is going to be one base shuttle Reaver. I'm curious if it's going to be, if we're going to get shuttle speed as well. I have to imagine that we would. And for Mandalore, it is just going to be an observatory while he continues to pump out these ranged goons. No expansion being taken yet. Cheeky probe just hanging out here at the high ground third base location. Shuttle is out. Reaver is on the way. Zealots have already been loaded. We will be going across the map pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see how much damage Volca can get with this versus Mandalore's Dragoons. Probe up here just coming to see whether or not Mandalore expanded. He did not. Volca started a gateway and then canceled it. That's what happened. And it looks like Volca is keeping an eye on any shuttles coming out of Mandalore. He doesn't know what Mandalore is doing right now. So just in case. Oh, these are on patrol. I just realized that. Looks like Mandalore has killed the eggs on his ramp and will now move down, which unfortunately, this is like the worst time that Mandalore could move down out of his main, because here comes the Reaver. Now, the thing is that Volca's not going to have a lot at home to defend. Volca is expecting a potential shuttle to come into his main, and instead, he's going to get a shuttle into Mandalore's main, and Mandalore is going to get a lot of units into Volca's natural. I did not see how many probes just died, but it was a lot. So already an advantage here for Volca, as Mandalore did decide to come back home. But that's, yeah, you can't do that. You've already lost a shit ton of probes. You need to go do damage. You need to do damage right now. Like right now. If this shuttle gets home and Volca can hold his ramp, I mean, My god, I really wish I had clicked on that shuttle to see how many kills it has. It's got to have at least a dozen kills. That first Scarab did some work. Oof. Which one is Uncoachables? Volca. Volca is Uncoachables. You're the Red Protoss. Also, what's up? Ease 5 mana. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Well, Mandalore trying to keep Volca up his ramp while he throws down an expansion. He's decided that that's how he wants to recover his probe count. I would really like to see this this Reaver dropped out. I just want to see how many kills this Reaver got when it was dropped into Mandalore's main. Volca is going to come down here and try to reclaim this low ground so that he can maybe get his own expansion up. The Reaver's going to get one shot off. 10 probe kills on this Reaver is the reason why you're seeing this massive probe advantage. And I believe Mandalore's Observer was killed. And Mandalore does have a shuttle with a Reaver in it just sitting right up here. Has decided that he wants to send it into Volca's main, but Volca does have this Dragoon spotting. Okay, is this thing on... Okay, that thing is on patrol. I noticed that thing move up right as Mandalore's shuttle moved up, and I'm like, wait a second. And yeah, Mandalore is going to try to fly this in. This Dragoon's going to see it. I have to imagine these Dragoons are going to move up, like... Alright, Volca, come on. Yeah. Okay, Mandalore's going to turn around immediately. Not going to get this into Volca's base. So Volca's going to get this Nexus down. But honestly, and yeah, Mandalore is just not making probes out of his Nexus down here. So, I mean, once Volca's Nexus finishes here, he's just going to continue to maintain that worker lead that he got for himself with that initial drop. Shuttle moving out across the map. Mandalore is going to see it with these goons. And so that is going to go back home. Probes now being transferred down to the natural. I would really like to see... I don't think 38 probes is where you necessarily want to stop. I'm really surprised they're not. There we go. More probes, please. Observer being sniped here by Mandalore. Does not want to give free information to Volca. Volca's shuttle here is going to fly back into the main of Mandalore, and once again Mandalore does not have... He's got an observer to see it, but he's got nothing to fight, and these photon cannons are not going to be done in time, although there are 2 Dragoons down here. Is he going to... Okay, the Dragoons are down here, the photon cannons are not done yet. This Reaver is going to come down here, and bam! Just like that! Gets another, like, 10 probe kills, gets out. These Dragoons are coming up here to the natural expansion of Volca, but honestly, Volca just has too much stuff. The Observer here, it sounds like... I think I just heard the Observer die. I'm guessing the Observer just moved too far close to this cannon. I don't see an Observer for Volca. And it's now, what, 50 army supply to, like, 60? It's like 10 more army supply and 10 more workers for Volca. Volca is ahead in every way, every single way he possibly could be. Mandalore is going to try to fly this, look for some sort of soft spot for this Reaver. He's not, well, I thought he was going to find one. He is going to fly a little bit too close to these cannons. He's going to lose this Reaver. Actually, no, the cannons are going to focus down the Reaver first, then he's going to lose the shuttle. I think maybe he got like 2 probe kills at the most. Low money games. Vodka? Hey, Illithid Synapse. What's up, man? Yeah, it's tough. He could have dropped his Reaver right here and maybe gotten some kills on these probes, but couldn't quite make that choice that quickly. It's pretty tough. Goon on Goon battle here in the center of the map, but Volka's got the superior arc and the superior numbers. Mandalore really has no choice but to back up here as, again, the probe count's higher, the army's count is higher. I mean, 80 army supply. Like, Volka has more units than Mandalore has anything. And especially with a bunch of Mandalore's Dragoons, like, split off over here for whatever reason. I mean, they are going to come up here. I thought maybe he might come up... Okay, it looks like he's going to come around. He's going to cut off these reinforcements. Does have a Reaver here to try to help defend. He's trying to get some emergency photon cannons up. They aren't going to help too much. And now walking forward here to try to target down. The Reaver gets targeted down almost immediately. And honestly, these Zealots are getting like way too much damage in. For the amount of goons that Volka had up there, I think that he could have got more done. And unfortunately, it does look now like Mandalore's just going to chase all this down. And now, suddenly, Mandalore finds himself with more army supply than Volka, and he's going to surround these Dragoons. And so now it is Volka's turn to throw up a bunch of emergency photon cannons, and he is really just reduced now to a bunch of Zealots, as he is trying to get another Reaver out. I don't see another Reaver nearby, and I think Mandalore might actually pull this game back. I don't think there's going to be enough here to hold on. These photon cannons are going to finish. And if you're going to fight, I mean, maybe wait for this cannon to go and fight with your cannons. These cannons aren't really helping out as much as they could be. The Zealots trying to go forward to get on top of these Dragoons. The Dragoons are cutting back and now scooting forward a little bit and now getting on top of these photon cannons. This is really the one way that Volka could potentially clean this army up here is by fighting alongside these photon cannons, but really it's just not going to be enough. A little bit of unfortunate army mismanagement here from Volka. I really do think he had this game in the bag when he was down here at Mandalore's Natural. However, there is a Reaver out. We do see one Dragoon go down. We've got 5-3 here. We've got Zealots coming up. Dragoons trying to target fire the Reaver, and they do get it. And I do believe that Reaver kill is going to signal the end of this game. As we have more units reinforcing. And Volka down to like 10 army supply. These Dragoons, all he has left in the world. Meanwhile, Mandalore has all this tech, all these units left back at home. The probe count, by the way, now going in Mandalore's favor for the first time since the very beginning of this game. Probe's trying to drill down this Zealot, will do so successfully. And Volka trying desperately to stabilize, but I think as soon as he sees these reinforcements, I think he's going to tap out. Because this game is over. And there you have it. Mandalore going to go up 1-0 in our final series of the day. What's up, guys? Hey! Appreciate those of you who just recently joined. Ease Mana, Illithid Synapse, and Black Lake 69. Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. and checking out the broadcast. If you guys don't know me, my name's Lavkian. I recently started playing Brood War again. I joined the Coach-Pupil League, which is what I'm doing these broadcasts for. I'm casting some of their games from a couple weeks ago, as there have been a ton of games played and not a lot of them have been cast. So I'm trying to get some of that done here. This is the last series of the day. I may do some more casting tomorrow. I haven't quite decided yet. But yeah, if you want some Brood War action, you need more Brood War in your life, go ahead and that follow button, because I will be doing a lot more broadcasting and playing here on this channel. I get back into Brood War, but for now, let's do game number 2 of this series. Volca vs. Mandalore. We are going to go Dark Origin. Yeah, it's not easy controlling that well, and I am not a Protoss player, so no comment from me about the relative skill between these two players, but bam, here we are. Neo Dark Origin in the top left, representing Thank You Very Much, hoping to bring this one home. Up 1-0, it is Mandalore down here in the bottom right. Maybe throwing that game, he got himself a really big lead with a Reaver drop. It is Volca. Blackleg, thanks for the follow. I do appreciate it. And so yeah, PvP. There are a lot of ways that it can go. You might see some DT rushes, some Zealot legs. You might see some Shuttle Reaver action. There's so many choices available to Protoss players. And just checking for any sneaky pylons here. A very quick scout here from Mandalore. They will throw down their gateways at more or less the same time. Volca will now go scout, and you will see Mandalore's probe coming in first. And now, just like every other PvP, we're going to see 8 gas core. In that order. And then we just have to sit here and wait to see. Is it going to be more gates? Is it going to be a robo? Is it going to be a citadel? Or maybe even a nexus? Where do we go from here? Have to wait for our players to decide. Is that a probe? That is a probe. A cheeky little probe. Already today we did see, I believe it was Final Sky, in a PvT, hit 2 gateways down here, and just managed to kill his opponent that way. So that's one way of doing it, of course. A Manor Pylon here out of Volca. I'm not sure how. I guess this is causing the probes to is this blocking this? No, because you can mine it from this angle. I think ideally you want to be like trapping a probe, but this is definitely causing some like lost mining time, right? Like this is it's pretty spicy. Definitely going to be a little bit annoying and potentially costing Mandalore a little bit of money here in the early game, as now we are both players getting that goon range. Mandalore with his first goon out will chase this probe out. Volca will do the same. And now Robo and another gateway here for Mandalore, and we will start to take out that pylon. Does that pylon give any... Ooh, he can see the gateway, but not the Robo. That's interesting. Looks like it is also going to be a Robo. Will there be a second gateway from Volca? Dragoon range almost done for both players. This... Oh, wow. Volca actually going to get in here and scout the Robo and the second gateway. Here is an observatory here for Mandalore, so just playing fairly safe here, safe and standard as far as I'm aware. And second gateway coming down here for Volca, but it's a little bit late comparatively speaking. I thought maybe he was going to go for a slightly different choice here to kind of optimize. Like maybe there was a reason why he was getting this gateway later, but just decided to slow that down now. And another robotic support base, so we are going to be going Shuttle Reaver once again. This time, though, it's going to be... I think it might be a little bit harder for Volca to get anything done. It looks like Mandalore is actually expecting this. As we do have Dragoons in position here, if a shuttle wanted to come up this way, or if a shuttle wanted to come in this way. If you want to get to this mineral line, it's going to be hard. You'd have to come in like this way. That's not very common for a shuttle to do. But hey, maybe Volca will take the uncommon path to victory. We do have the Reaver coming out before the shuttle. And actually, we're just going to get a Reaver and we're going to expand. Okay, so no drops coming. Here is the Observer out for Mandalore, going to see what Volca is up to. We'll fly right into the main and see the support bay. But not this expansion. All right, nope. Okay, he's gonna turn around. He's gonna go to the natural, and there is that Nexus. Oops. Gonna get a photon cannon here as he has seen the support bay just in case any shuttles come out. Right now it's just going to be Reaver production here. Defensive Reaver production for Volca while he tries to get this second Nexus down. More gateways going down here for Mandalore. Here is the support base, so now he can start getting Reavers of his own if he wants to. I never realized how much this kind of looks like the support bay from Starcraft 2, where you have like the fingers that kind of animate in towards each other when you're getting upgrades for the tall shooty boys. I can't remember their damn names. Anyway, here comes the attack here from Mandalore. He is going to basically just walk into... I mean, how many... Let's see. We have 8 Dragoons here, 9, 10 Dragoons. So basically the same amount of Dragoons, except Volca has Reavers. So, you know, Mandalore not really going to get much done here. Is there more than one... And now with this observer up here for Volca, Mandalore's just going to take a few pot shots. He's going to bait these Dragoons forward, but did he bait himself? No, he did not. Oh, God, I almost lost this Reaver for free. Getting a little bit of damage down onto these shields. And the second Nexus going to go down. Mandalore is that Citadel. Ooh, now we have the Reavers being loaded up into the shuttle here. And Volga is going to go on the offensive, running into these units from Mandalore. Now, how well can he control this shuttle and this Reaver? Going to drop the shuttle, or sorry, going to drop the Reaver out. Dragoon's trying to dive on top of it. Did he manage to save it? Yes, he did. Oh my goodness, look at the shuttle Reaver micro here, keeping both of them alive and killing off a lot of the Dragoons from Mandalore. Very well played from Volka. Mandalore tried to run up and snipe. We can see both of these Reavers very highly damaged, but still alive. And now a pretty significant supply advantage for Volka. It's about 30 army supply here for Mandalore. And about 50 army supply here for Volka. If Volka can just push across the map here, he can do a lot of damage. There's only one Reaver out right now for Mandalore. It's sitting on the ramp. These Dragoons want to rally down here, but they can't. They're blocked by the Reaver. More Goons and Zealots rallying up here for Volka. And now it is up to Mandalore's... Oh, you know what? Honestly, if I'm Volka here, I'd probably just target fire this. He was in range to just target fire that and potentially kill it. And then you have your two Reavers here. I think that's just GG. If you just jump on this Reaver and just kill it immediately as soon as you walk up there. But instead, Volka's just going to consolidate his map control. Going to take out these goons that were hiding over here at this right side base location. And these goons are going to cut off the rest of Mandalore's Dragoons here. So now the 2-base macro of Volka. A couple of probes here taking a union break. And a third Nexus just going to go up here from Volka. I actually really like this. You know you've got Mandalore pinned back. He can't really come out onto the map. And you've got a worker count. I mean, he's up in every metric. He's got a 60 army supply and 40 probes and a third Nexus. He's getting +1. He's getting Zealot legs. He's getting his Templar archives. I mean... yeah, Volka's good at getting himself into these positions where he has an advantage. Now can he just close out this game? That is the remaining question here. Looks like things are going to calm down for a little bit. Again, Mandalore macroing up on 2 base. Volka trying to get that 3rd base up. Nice catch, says Mandalore. I'm not sure if that was an Observer, or maybe it was a Dark Templar. There, I saw something on the minimap come down here, but I didn't see exactly what it was. Transferring some of those probes over, we are getting those Templar out. Storm is on the way here for Volka. And this shuttle here is on the move. I don't think there's anything in it, though. I'm not sure if he meant to put a Reaver in there or what's going on here. We'll be moving some of his army across the map. Storm only just now getting started for Mandalore, so again, advantages all around for Volka. Volka moving some of his army to the center of the map, moving some of his army up here, just checking for any hidden bases. And if Mandalore did happen to be on the other side of the bridge, this would be a great way to get a bit of a surround on the army. And he is actually going to go ahead and expand behind this again. I love this. You've got your opponent pretty well contained. You've got, again, got 100 army supply to like 70. Volka's macro is really impressing the hell out of me in this series. Guy knows how to produce units. Which, as much as Starcraft comes down to strategy and tactics and APM and micro and all that kind of fun stuff, if you just have more stuff than your opponent, you do tend to win. Not only does Volk have more stuff than his opponent, but his +1 is almost done. +1 done here for Mandalore as well. Storm's coming down here. I see a couple of Dark Templar here for Mandalore, but none for Volka. And unfortunately, Volka's units getting all tangled up here as they were trying to funnel through this choke, and that allowed some more efficient trades for Mandalore than he might have otherwise gotten. These goons really not cooperating in the way that Volka might have wanted to. The macro good for Volka, the control not so much, as I think he really could have gotten a cancel on this Nexus. And unfortunately, no observers up here. Okay, now we have an observer with the army of Volka to take out that Dark Templar. And another observer of Mandalore is being picked off. But this third base will be secure. However, Volka's fourth base is also secure. We already see probes being transferred up now. A decent rope count here for Volka. Those Zealot legs are done. +2 ground weapons. Almost done here for Volka. Honestly, I think if he just waits for +2, I think he just runs a lot of this shit over. This is actually crazy. Like, +2 isn't even on the way for Mandalore, so Volka's gonna very likely, given this army positioning, enjoy an upgrade advantage for pretty much the rest of the game here. And Volka now moving forward, streaming Zealots down here, does have an observer in case there are any Dark Templar. He's killed the only one that's in the area. There are several cannons here, goons, and Reavers to make it fairly tough for this army to move forward. Great storm going down here on these Reavers, taking away all the shields here. Another Templar moving up, got plenty of storms here, does drop another storm on these Reavers. All the Dragoons have melted. The only thing left are in fact the Reavers, but Zealots are going to jump on top of everything. Mandalore claims that he was steamrolled. I kind of agree. I think that Volka showed how strong his macro can be. Very well played from him. And the very last match of this broadcast is going to go to a Game 3. So we are going to have one more game. Retro. Alright, guys. Last Tier 1 game of the day. Game 3 of the last set of the day. Of Tier 1. It's casted in the books. Volka vs. Mandalore, Game 3, Retro. Here we go. Alrighty. In the top right corner, representing, thank you very much, looking to take this one home for his team, it is Mandalore, and down here pulling Game 2 back, hoping to win the rubber match. Representing the Uncoachables, it is Volka, and this time we are on Retro in cross spawns. And seeing how the game on Neo Dark Origin went, and how macro-oriented that was, I would not be very surprised if we saw something very similar out of this game as well. And as I settle in for this last cast of the day, guys, I just want to say once again, thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Been watching ASL for a couple of years now. Decided to finally get back into Brood War right before Christmas. Did a little bit casting. I've been playing a bunch. And yeah, like I said, I'm just so happy to be an active member of an active and growing community. And I'm so happy that you guys are here hanging out with me, enjoying the greatest game ever made. I think we know now at this point that that is, in fact, what Brood War is. It is the greatest game ever made. It is the greatest game that we'll ever make, at least in terms of esports competitive games. Volka's glorious, majestic red probe going across the map after sitting down that gateway. And Mandalore doing some PvZ cosplay here. I guess Forge Gateway Nexus, I guess, is the opening here. That's pretty spicy. Things you can do on a 4-player map. Okay, it looks like it's going to be Forge Gate Cannon. And a little bit of dancing before putting that Nexus down. Schwinn would approve of this. We all know that Schwinn loves when you dance your workers. Really just mashing out those right clicks. Does get that Nexus down, and Volka's going to see that. So we're going to see some one-base tech versus a quick expand here. What is the tech choice going to be out of Volka? We do have a Zealot here that looks like... Is this Zealot just going to sit at the ramp? Okay, yeah. I didn't think he was going to move across the map with that. He wasn't going to go a whole lot done if he tried. So it is going to be a robotics facility once again. Volka does like his robotics play. He does like his Reavers. He does like his shuttles. We've seen a lot of that so far already this year. Moves win game 100%. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And now Volka just going to go ahead and throw his Nexus down. So he'll have the faster robotics. Whereas Mandalore will have the faster Nexus, but we're not going to be going for any kind of fast tech aggression. We're just going to settle in and macro up, boys. I hope you're comfy. Last game of the series. Looks like we are going to see some expansions go down. A lot of probes are going to be made, and not a lot of interaction is going to happen, as, again, we are cross-spawn on Retro. So it is hard to walk across the map and deal any sort of damage. Mandalore's going to remain super, super safe with this extra photon cannon. And it looks like we are going to go for a quick Reaver drop again. Probe dancing is always a good use of APM. Well, I'm glad we could all agree on that. Hey, Sloma. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. Now that that support bay is done, here comes the Reaver. This probe, meanwhile, keeping an eye on everything that's going on in Mandalore's base. Mandalore has no idea that this Reaver is coming. And the Reaver could actually do quite a bit of damage here, depending on what is at home for Mandalore when Volka gets there. The Reaver will be out here momentarily. Shuttle getting ready. Pick that thing up and fly across the map. I wonder if Volka... Unfortunately, you can't see it. I'm curious if Volka saw this photon cannon go down. Okay, here's another photon cannon. So this is... I guess you could drop, like, here and have the Reaver shoot from, like, right here, and you could still get a bunch of probe kills that way. Or you could fly in here, drop the Reaver... Oh, my God. You could drop the Reaver here. Drop the Reaver here, fire one shot, pick it back up, come over here, fire one shot, pick it back up, and then just fly out this way. With only 3 Dragoons, I feel like it'd be pretty hard. Okay, never mind. Here is another photon cannon. Okay. Mandalorian's looking pretty protected here, just getting all the photon cannons. So many photon cannons here. Just really does not want to get... have any Reaver shenanigans mess up his day here. And that is what Volka's going to try to do. But with the photon cannons being where they are, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get much done. This cannon will finish. And Volka is going to see that cannon and turn right back around. Will he fly around to the main? Again, with this cannon placement, you could still just park a Reaver right here and just get some shots on these probes. The mineral line isn't completely safe. But for right now, Volka not really doing much. Mandalore still hasn't found Volka, I don't think. No, Mandalore is completely blind here. Has no idea if Volka's expanded. I mean, I guess at this point you have to imagine he's expanded if he hasn't been aggressive yet. Now, here we go. Here's this Reaver coming in. He's going to see where the photon cannons are, and this is exactly what I predicted with the photon cannons being right here. He could just park this right here and get these shots off, and 6 kills already with that first Scarab. And just like in Game 1, Volka will take an early probe lead, and early mining lead too, as Mandalore pulled all of his probes back here. Now, unfortunately, that shuttle did take a few shots from that cannon, and the Dragoons were able to pick off the shuttle with the Reaver in it, so that will not be coming back anytime soon. Mandalore now moving across the map, but not sending his probes back to mine, only just now sending his probes back to mine. So, it's really unfortunate that Volka lost the shuttle and the Reaver. He did get quite a few probe kills. And some lost mining time. He does have the Observer here. He is going to see Mandalore's army walking up here. But, I mean, Volka just has more stuff. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's got, yeah, this is 6 goons. Okay, it was 5. Now it's 5 goons to 5 goons. This goon back here is about to die. And now it's literally just 3 goons versus 5 goons. And there are some zealots here to protect. And Mandalore can't really do anything. So he just kind of moved across the map. Created a few units. Didn't really get much done. Volka's still up in probes after that drop. Although really the probe difference isn't that high. And so some Templar tech on the way for Mandalore, and it looks like he might want to throw down a 3rd Nexus. A Forge and a Templar Archives about to finish here for Volka. Already getting that +1 and that speed. +1 already done for Mandalore, +2 on the way. Storm almost done. Volka now may be thinking about taking a 3rd base of his own. Will clear out these Dragoons at the top of this 3rd base location. We do have now Volka moving across the map. Does have a pretty significant army supply advantage here. We can see literally they have the same amount of probes. Hiding a couple zealots here. And actually this zealot's going to run... the zealot wanted to run up here? He's trying to get the zealot up here and he can't because of this wall. He's going to see now... I think he's going to see the photon cannon. And he's going to know that Mandalore wants to... Zealot's now just going to stream down towards the third base location of Volca. Volca not quite ready for this. +1 speed lots. Scary no matter what the matchup. They get right on top of the Reaver. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe Volca picked that up in time. He's going to try to drop it down again for another shot. This is really, really bold. And unfortunately does lose that Reaver. And these Zealots are going to right-click this Nexus down really, really fast. Oh man, that's so unfortunate. Just like that. Mandalore is going to leave because his work here is done. Ugh. Speedlots. Disgusting. And now the third Nexus is just going to quietly go up for Mandalore back at home. Now their supplies are equal. Volca floating a lot of money, which is really unfortunate because I was commending his macro in that last game. I do think his macro is quite good, but he's been a bit flustered this game, it seems. As he doesn't have quite enough gateways to spend all of his money. But a fight's going to break out up here. We do have some Templar here, but unfortunately Storm didn't make... Oh no, I think this must have been the classic. He just forgot Storm. That's so unfortunate. He's got so many Templar here with so much energy. And no Storm. And I have to imagine that Storm is finished a long time ago here for Mandalore. He is bringing up his own Templar. But now Mandalore starting to overtake Volca in supply. Volca remaking this Nexus. Double expanding now. Hoping to get off that cheeky double expand here. Sending some of these Zealots home that were kind of sitting across the map. They're going to find a goon here. They're just going to pick at that for a little bit. And now both sides are just going to slowly macro up. Probe chance for coming out. Observer speed for Mandalore. It looks like things are going to quiet down here for a little bit, anyway. 2-1 done for Volca with +2 armor on the way. And +2 done. Ooh! +3 weapons done on, or +3 weapons on the way for Volca. And +1 armor on the way, but no +3 weapons just yet for Mandalore. So if that can finish for Volca, he could have himself a bit of an advantage. We're going to send out this observer to see what it can see. And what it's going to see is the Zealots moving up here for Volca. Volca will spot this observer. We'll chase it back, but won't quite kill it. And now Mandalore's own... I'm sorry, yeah, that, yeah. I thought that was Volca's observer going to scout Mandalore's army, but in fact, Mandalore's observer retreating. Well, now the double expansion attempt has been successful here for Volca. And so he will now be on 4 base to the 3 base of Mandalore. And now Mandalore's going to walk up here and engage. It's a little bit surprising. I'm surprised he wouldn't want to wait for maybe his +3 to finish. Honestly, even if it's just his +2 armor finished, he's going to have that upgrade for a very long time, as now 2-1 is finished here for Mandalore, so they are temporarily on similar upgrades. But a lot of the units here for Volca just not fighting, not bringing everything up to bear all at the same time. Mandalore's Zealots here are going to start pouring out, and Volca in full retreat, but unfortunately retreating his army little bits at a time. There are some Dark Templar mixed in here for Mandalore, as Mandalore is just going to walk Volca all the way back to his natural. Some storms going down for both players here. It's honestly hard to tell who's storming where. The supplies are still relatively even for both players, but this looks a lot more scary for Volca than it does for Mandalore. We've still got plenty of Templar here, although I don't know if there's much energy left. Nope, never mind. We do have plenty of energy left here, and Volca is going to get run over. That's unfortunate. I think Volca could have easily taken that. I think his macro looked really good in the first couple of games. I think the ideas he had were good. But unfortunately, yeah, no speed on the Zealots, yeah. And also, he's loading a whole bunch of money. Yeah, 2K, 1K, you know, that could have been units that could have helped that game out. And also, I think he just forgot Storm or something. The way he moved out and then, like, realized he didn't have Storm, and then, like, Storm just kind of started up late is really unfortunate. That's just how Brood War goes sometimes. We've all been there. So, alright guys, that's going to do it for me for this broadcast. I have been live for 5 hours as you see. We got a lot done today. Like I said, week 8 between these two teams is now done. I may do some tier 0 casts tomorrow. I'll have to see what's still available that needs to be cast. But until next time, that is going to do it for me. So stay tuned, drop a follow if you want to see more of this Brood War content. But until next time, thank you guys so much for joining me. And who's the best PvP player? I have no idea. Snow. Maybe. No, maybe best. Grassed? Okay. Maybe it's grassed. Anyway. I'll have to watch Grass play for some time, and then we can figure it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time. Have a nice day.